Aloha and welcome to the Embodied Healing Self podcast with your host, Jen Mons. Each week, join me for soul-inspired, conscious conversations around embodied healing and awakening to your soul's purpose. Thank you for listening in. Aloha and welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me again this week. So I'm really excited to share this week's topic, which I am calling Nourish, Empower, Transform, about the 3 different layers of accessing the healer within you. I'll be speaking at a women's event this month on a health panel with other healers and health practitioners in the community. And so I just thought I'd take the opportunity to share my view on the pathways to accessing the healthier, happier version of yourself. And as I share this, I'm going to integrate some personal experiences along the way so that you can see how I know this to be true for myself and the community of women that I support. So on paper, I'm a certified holistic health coach, a certified life coach through the IACF. I'm a detoxification specialist through the International School of Detoxification Level 1. I'm trained in functional medicine through Caden Institute. I'm a registered yoga teacher and meditation teacher, a licensed spiritual healer. I'm definitely a person who loves to continually evolve, learn, and grow so that I can better serve and support the community of women that I work with. But really, the work that I do is I'm a wellness intuitive. So some of you might be like, well, what's a wellness intuitive? Well, I've been doing this health coaching for almost 10 years, which was a second career for me. And my career before this was a professional mechanical engineer, and I've always been really good at math and troubleshooting. And so as I was health coaching over the years, I kind of always just thought I was really good at troubleshooting, and that was why I was able to really serve my clients' needs in a capacity that I did. But what I know now is that it was really just so much greater than me. You heard me talk last week about how all of our experiences are so much greater than just our own experience. And I learned this the hard way through a second health crisis. So my first health crisis at the age of 28 led me down a path to healing my own family with nutrition and herbal wellness. And 5 years into health coaching at the peak of eating clean and as a fitness instructor and feeling really, really good, I had a second health crisis, which really taught me, the deeper layers of healing that we're being called to serve my community with. And one of the things that was happening at the time was not really understanding my own gift of intuition, which I believe that we all have. We just have to learn to access it, which is part of what I do when I'm coaching other coaches, is learning how to access that intuition so that we can better serve our clients. And I really wasn't aware of it, so I didn't have a healthy boundary around my empathy or my intuition, but really just learning to understand that a wellness intuitive is somebody who knows and understands the needs of others through a very deep level of compassion and sees, senses, feels, or hears information about that particular person that they're having an experience with that hasn't been spoken in a tangible way to them. And so this was one of the ways that I was serving my clients. So that's a wellness intuitive. Is in sessions with people, I actually meditate for 15 minutes before every session and allow myself to come into complete stillness and invite grace to come in and to do the work, because really every session that I have with each client is this greater, grander experience, this need for healing that is being called upon. And I really just feel so deeply honored whenever I am called into the space of being a person to guide that person on their journey. So as a wellness intuitive, my secret ingredients are emotional empowerment and then just intuitive guidance. So what does that mean? So what I've learned over the years is that for many women in particular, and this is kind of mostly who I work with, is that our biggest health challenge right now shows up as overwhelm, stress, and the idea that maybe we don't feel good enough, or maybe we identify ourselves as, I'm only good when I marry that guy, or I'm only good when I become a mom, or my kid does well in school, or sell that house, or I land that job, I land that client, I get that degree. And the truth is that this is not true. We are born perfectly imperfect, and we're already good enough because we are created in the Creator's divine love from unconditional love. So already, just because we're here, we're unconditionally loved. So the first path that I offer, Nourish, Empower, Transform, is the path of physical healing to the body. And this is based on my own personal experience. So I had liver failure at 28 and pregnancy-induced, and as a result, really continued to live in survival mode for almost 6 years, taking care of my children, particularly my oldest daughter that was immune compromised, and myself. Very long journey, very long process. I didn't have somebody like me to help me along the way. Traditional methodologies just weren't working for us. And so after that, after healing our bodies with food and nutrition and herbal wellness, or during that process, I began health coaching. And so layering the nourishing part of ourselves, addressing the needs of our physical body, include really learning intuitive eating. So intuitive eating is being able to know and understand what works for your body in this moment, because our bodies are always changing. So especially for my ladies on here, you know that when you get to be in your 40s or 50s, we come into perimenopause or menopausal, like the chemistry in our body is different. And what worked for us 10 years ago may not work for us now. Our lifestyle changes. We have different epigenetics or predisposition in our genes, that we have different needs. And so this is true for all of us, but then on top of that, whatever worked for us 10 years ago or before we had kids might have changed after we had kids, before you had chronic disease or illness as opposed to afterwards. Like, we're constantly changing. Before you had a major life event, could have altered the cellular memory in your body. Traumatic events can also affect our health and well-being. So there's just so many changes, and this is why intuitive eating is the answer. So I teach people how to access that, but you have to be given the tools to know what works for you by knowing what it's like to feel good first. And we're not talking about going from like feeling absolutely horrible to completely amazing overnight, but I really do strongly believe in the elimination diet specifically. I've had so many success stories around the elimination diet of just simply eliminating the foods that are known to cause inflammation for most people. And those include gluten, soy, corn, dairy, nuts, and eggs. And then also learning and understanding, your lifestyle and what your needs are. A person who is in the fitness profession or running an ultra marathon has very different needs than somebody who's sitting at a desk for 8 hours a day. So really understanding your lifestyle and your needs, your body type, your genetics is all a part of it. And so I love anti-inflammatory eating because it gives our body a boost, specifically around the liver and kidneys, to regulate the hormones and the metabolism by supporting the liver. For most of us, we don't know what it's like to feel good until we do, because a lot of us might be running around daily, waking up and drinking coffee because we don't feel naturally energized, and then drinking the wine to unwind at night so that we can sleep at night, which is just a repetitive pattern that isn't necessary if you're living in balance. So the nourishing path addresses not only the physical body and understanding how nutrition works specifically for your body. This is why I believe there is no one diet or trendy diet. Like the keto diet is really big right now. It is not for everyone. And supplements, I don't believe there's any one supplement that can really serve all of us, because we're all uniquely different. So really learning and understanding in a way that you can eat that energizes you, that makes you feel balanced, that makes you feel happy. It's important to have a healthy relationship with food as well, because there is an energy behind the emotional attachment to food. So all of this is important. And then also I love the principles of Ayurveda and just learning to eat for your Ayurvedic constitution. We're all born with an energetic imprint. I love energy work. You'll know that I'm hosting several guests on here that address energy work and energy healing, and I believe very firmly in it. I've had so much success in it in my own healing and in the healing of my own daughter, because everything is energy. Every thought, every food, every emotional experience, everything has an energetic imprint in it. So understanding the needs of our physical body and nourishing based on our Ayurvedic constitution and based on the physical needs of our body, our lifestyle, our epigenetics, and how our body feels is super important. And then the deeper layer is empower, which really gets into the emotional empowerment piece. So this is for the person who knows how to eat healthy, but just still doesn't do it, or does a weight loss program, loses the weight, does a healthy weight loss program, not like a starving one or fasting one, but and then, a year later, the weight's back on and the old habits of eating cookies or potato chips while watching TV at night are still there. So this is really addressing the deeper layer of understanding why do those patterns keep showing up, and doing the deeper work of understanding what the underlying belief under that pattern is. And from what I see, there's more than this, but I see predominantly 4 self-limiting beliefs that show up over and over again that I find pretty common in most people. And that is either I'm not good enough, or I'm only good when I look a certain way, I make a certain amount of money, I have that husband, I have that family, or whatever. So not being good enough. The second one is not being lovable. So I'm only lovable when I give to others, or I'm only lovable when I provide this experience for my friends, or whatever could show up. Another one is not feeling safe, and this is either not feeling safe in your body or not trusting others, not trusting that others can fully see you, understand you, and help you, or not feeling safe in your own body's ability to heal. And then the last one I see, the fourth one, is that I'm hopeless, really believing that just there's nobody out there that can possibly see you or help you, because this is just the way I am. This is the way I was born. This is the way it was in my family. There's nothing I can do to change it. Everybody had this, particular chronic illness, so I'm going to get it. Everybody was overweight, so I'm going to be overweight. And just really believing that you can't be changed and you're hopeless. Those are the top 4. And so I invite you've heard me talk about this before in the self-sabotaging with Bonnie Kelly and with Lloyd Burnett in using fear as the catalyst for change. These patterns show up in most of us. And so if you don't know yours yet, I invite you to do some self-work and really explore what that might be for you. So the second layer of healing, the Empower program, is really about it's a 4 to 6 month program that really gets into that deeper layer. And we first start with creating sacred space. Most people call it time management. I call it choice management. And it's really getting clear on living in alignment with your core values, what matters most to you. Look at your credit card statement. Look at your schedule. If you say that health is important to you, are you going to the gym? Are you eating at places that are not healthy? Are you going to the health food store or eating junk food? Get really clear and honest with yourself. And if connection is important, what are you doing to spend time with your family? What are you doing to connect with other people? So getting really clear on that and creating a schedule and a life that is in alignment with what matters to you. This is so important. It is so important. And so many of us are forgetting to do this because we are so busy. We don't actually even know what's important to us. So I invite you in this moment, if you don't know, to get really clear on 3 to 5 things that really express who you are, and just do a check. Am I living in alignment with these? And then, so creating that sacred space and then doing the deeper work to understanding the self-limiting beliefs and the patterns that show up and that cycle of self-sabotage that repeats itself over and over again in those unhealthy thoughts and patterns that don't feel good that show up. This could be around body image. It could be around not feeling worthy enough. It could be like, I know that I need support from this personal trainer, or I should go get a massage, or I should do this. When you find yourself using that subjective language, I really invite you to check yourself. Like, if you should do it, then do it, because saying you should do it implies guilt and shame that you already are choosing not to do it. And it is a very uncomfortable and unhealthy place to live, and always feeling not good enough. Like, I should do it, but I don't do it. Like, it already implies that you're not good enough because you're not doing what you know that you should be doing. So that's the empowerment piece, and getting, understanding and learning again the deeper layers of your body, healing body awareness, really connecting within your body through intuitive eating, intuitive movement, and connecting with you. This is such a gift. So many of us, or not many of us, maybe not the listeners here, but a lot of people are just wanting somebody else to save them. And truly the best gift that a coach can give you, and what a coach does, is empowers you to access the highest and best version of yourself. But you got to know what that is. So really taking and doing the inner work to create that hour power. So many of us are struggling and frustrated because we actually aren't willing to commit the time or the resources to do that inner work. So either being super motivated to do some of this work yourself, or finding support to help you to get there. And so the third and final pathway to healing that deeper layer of yourself, and how I know that it has showed up in just the community of women that I work with and in my own personal life, is some of us know how to eat healthy, to take care of ourselves. We do all the right things. We've done the work around our self-limiting beliefs. We know what matters to us. We're making good choices most of the time. We're super happy with where we are. Like, we have a pretty good marriage. We eat healthy maybe 80% of the time. Maybe we still have the occasional bag of potato chips or whatever. That's okay. We don't judge ourselves for it. But there's this deeper longing. There's this inner longing of really asking ourselves the question, like, again, as I shared last week with Karen Haysbert, like, who am I and what am I here to do? Like, what is my purpose? Like this longing for this connection to fully show up in the highest expression of who we are in this lifetime. And this starts to show up. Sometimes it shows up earlier. Sometimes it doesn't show up till we're, in our 40s or 50s. Maybe our kids have gotten older. Maybe your time isn't required so much to take care of them, or maybe you've been caretaking for a husband for your whole life, and maybe you're in transition with that right now, and you're asking yourself the question, okay, well, now what am I here? What am I supposed to do? Because we spend so much of our time and our self-worth identifying ourselves with our roles and our identities that we actually forget who we are. And so what I notice is that some of us start to begin to feel unwell, unfulfilled, sad, tired. It shows up a lot as being tired. Like, we start to convince ourselves that we're overtired because we do all this stuff and we have this great life, but we still feel unfulfilled. So this is the deeper layer, and this is the transform pathway, which is really more of a mentorship, and it's really about embodying, which is the name for this podcast, right? The embodied healing self. It is the idea of embodying that highest expression of ourselves, that allowing that divine grace, that unconditional love to flow through us, and just to live and stand in that grace. It is such a gift, and to know and to accept and to be grounded enough in who you are to know that there's going to be ebbs and flows, and there's going to be expansions and contractions, and that's okay, because you got this. Like, you've got it. You feel empowered to know that all of our experiences are greater than us anyway. And to know the healthy boundary of, okay, when am I allowing too much, and when is it time to become empowered again and make inspired action steps? So that is really the deeper layer of a program that I offer, that is an eight-month program called the Transform Program, that completely transforms your life. And based on all of the training that I've done as a licensed spiritual healer and spiritual life coaching, we get into understanding your soul's purpose, your soul contract, your human design, how you efficiently work, why you choose to do things the way that you choose to do them in a way that feels like it's in alignment with you. I love to use the Enneagram personalities. Just find them to be so accurate, and it's really fun way to learn a deeper part of your personality and what really drives you to move towards that pleasure or away from that pain, and sort of the underlying emotions that run the patterns in our lives. I hope that you enjoyed this. Hope that it inspired you to understand the bigger picture of, the different layers of our well-being. And I want to say that the emotional empowerment piece has to also do with the healthy mindset. That's why we create the sacred space, and that it's all a part of it. We have our physical body, we have our heart space, we have our mindset, we have our energetic body, and we have our connection to source and our connection to the people around us just in this experience. So I'd love to hear how this lands for you, or if anything came through for you. And I invite you to check out my homepage on my website. It'll show you the Nourish, Empower, Transform pathways. And, if this is something that you're really feeling called to step into and are looking for support, and you feel that I might be a person that you really resonate with or can support you, then schedule the free Empowered Wellness Strategy session to see if we're a good fit for each other. And I have so many resources, and even more resources that have come from this podcast, that if it is not in alignment for both of us, and I think that there is someone who will better serve you, I will send you to that person. For today, I think what I really just want to leave you with is I want to invite you to just do a check-in with yourself. Just really get real and clear about where you are in your life and how you feel. How are your energy levels? What are the thoughts and emotions and patterns that you say about yourself? And just do a check-in with yourself, where are you in relation to what you hope and dream and desire in your life? Who are the people supporting you? And what are the steps you're willing to take to get there? Because this is it. This is our chance. This is our life. And it's such a gift when you completely, totally access the fullest expression of yourself. All right. Have a wonderful day. Thanks so much for listening. Send me a message. I'd really love to hear from you. I just love connecting with people and just really getting to learn and see and witness them where they are in their life. So send me a message. If you're not up for the call or not interested in support right now, just let me know how this lands for you. Sending love. Have a wonderful day. Aloha. Hello, friends, and thank you so much for joining me today and being a part of this community. I know there are many other podcasts that you could be tuning into, and I am deeply honored that you chose to listen in and be present with me today. I love and cherish and appreciate you, and I want to invite you to join our tribe and Facebook group under jenmons.com/connect. I would also love to gift you your guide to discovering and overcoming the self-limiting beliefs standing in the way of you living in optimal health, more energy, fulfillment, and self-confidence to create an embodied, healthy, whole you. You can find this at jenmons.com/tribe. I also have one small request to help spread the love. In order for this podcast to show up in the feed of social media platforms of other like-minded people, we need reviews. So please head on over to jenmons.com/podcast to leave a review. You will also find other inspiring episodes on that page. So I personally read these reviews weekly and would love to give you a shout out and share your kind words with our listeners. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook as Jen Mons or The Holistic Coach with the W Holistic and Jen Mons, JenMons.com. Thank you so much and have an amazing day. Aloha.